Oh, good push cat. Welcome to his second channel video, push cat. So anyway, okay, hold on. It's better if I start with my face, because then people stick around, because then the human being is talking to them, not a weird omniscient set of hands. So, it's the second channel video discussing the heating system of my house, the water heating system. This is very, very not audio related, so the cat will occasionally show up, one of the two cats. But it's an interesting thing, and I'm having a problem, and I just want to talk about it. I don't know why. All right, look, this is what the second channel's for. It doesn't fucking matter. I could talk about my heating system if I feel like it. If I goddamn feel like it. Jubei, named after the main character from Burn Pile. Main character from Ninja Scroll. So, I moved into this house 5 years ago, and in that time I've had to repair this Noritz water heater several times. But let me give you an overview of the entire system, the problems I had when I moved in, why that's there, and what's going on right now. I know, this is exciting, isn't it? It's like, oh, this is better than anything you're going to see, any documentary you're going to see on, I don't know, the Holocaust or mega structures or, all the hidden tunnels under Saigon. So this is an instant hot water heater. This is what came with the house. Just this. Not that. Just this. It's propane fired. It's a Noritz. This house is from 2008, making this thing kind of old. So shit starts to fail. You know why. When I first moved into the house, because this is the only, there's no tank. It's just cold water comes in, propane fires, make hot, and then it goes out and went to the rest of the house. I added all the pipe insulation here as far as I can find it under this, because everything here is insulated and covered. And when I first bought this house, and I was like, all right, I'm going to live now, I would go up to the kitchen, I'd wake up in the morning, and I'd turn on the hot water, and it would take 2.5 minutes for hot water to make it to the sink in the kitchen, because it's literally one of the longest runs. It has to go up, has to go all the way over, has to go over, and then it comes back over, and then goes up, and it's fucking forever. So I contacted a plumber within the first 3 months of moving in here, and he puts a pump under the sink, which literally draws hot water. The whole point of it is it keeps hot water in the pipes, and then it stops, and it cools down, it pulls more hot water. So there's always hot water near that sink, which should bring it around the whole loop. Great concept if you have a tank, but the thing couldn't pull enough water hard enough and fast enough to turn this thing on when it was doing so. So all it would do is if I ran the hot water eventually gets to the sink and I turned it off, then the pump would turn on and it would slowly pull cold water, because this thing wouldn't turn on, through the pipes, so it fucking made it worse. Thus, Dan, my friend Dan, the IT man, was like, hey, let's do this. It's a 7-gallon Bosch hot water heater, electric, just straight electric. And so that feeds into that, which is a big insulated container. This generates its own heat, which it doesn't have to if that's feeding hot water into it that's slightly hotter than the temperature is set, then it just goes through it. But that solved my issue, because now it didn't matter if this was pulling cold water through it, because it was ending up in this heated tank, which was then pulling through the pipes, and it was working as intended. This is saving my ass right now, because this thing's broken again. And I love that my house has like secret backups. Everything's like a secret backup. Like I got mini splits in every fucking corner of the house, and a 7-ton air conditioning and heating and cooling system that's still installed. So I could run 2 heating systems or 2 cooling systems. I can make it extremely hot or extremely cold. It's a backup. That will work on the whole house if there's a blackout. And the one in my bedroom will still work on the generator, and the propane generator, whole thing. So, this Noritz here, and I looked at this, and I remember seeing French labels inside and thought it was a European brand. And then I look, and over here it says made in Japan. And as someone who owns a Chevy and a Toyota, I could tell you one good thing about Japanese shit. You could fix it like that for like $3. So the first error, I forget the code number it was, because this is the control panel. Everything's off currently, including the gas. The first issue I had with this thing was this thing right here. I bought a second one because it was cheap, super cheap. Seal ring, don't lose that. This is a fuse that verifies that the heating box that actually has the fire under it or in it doesn't overheat. That went bad. And it's not an expensive part. It's like $20, $15. I look up a video on this unit, and some guy on the internet was like, all right, here's how you replace this link that goes around the box. He took the whole fucking thing apart. And I'm talking about the whole thing. And he pulled out all the electronics, and he pulled this unit out. And I was watching this video for like 90 minutes, and I'm like, wait a second. Can't I just, because there's little clips that hold it, and can I just like reach around and do it with my hands? And so I did it that way, and it was fine. That guy on the internet was a fucking moron. That was a YouTube video. I gave big dislike, comments like, no. Works perfectly fine after that. I didn't know what the problem was. It was my first time repairing a major appliance with a gas line going to it, so always make sure that works. But it just chased it out. It works fine. Fast forward. Probably to year 2. That was year 1 or 2. So fast forward to year 2 or 3. Remember how I said when I run the water, it wasn't pulling fast enough, so therefore it didn't kick on? The way that works is that thing right there is a bypass valve. When it's not generating heat, that valve opens so that if a very small amount of water gets pulled through here, it doesn't have to pull it through the whole system. It just goes whoop and back out. That opens and closes and opens and closes and opens and closes and opens and closes. And as sediment builds up over time, this 2008, it starts opening and then not quite closing and opening and not quite closing and then opening and just stop closing. And I figured this out by using the Doogie phone. Because it didn't give me an error code. It was just, I wasn't getting any heat. And the thing is, the box was getting super fucking hot. But if I touched here or here, there was just no fucking hot water coming out of the unit. So I used a thermal camera. And I could physically see the problem. You see, this pipe right here is where the bypass happens. The cold water can go straight up. And then it meets the T here. And then it can go straight back down the output. And I watch this be cold, I watch this be super hot, and then it goes up, and now it's like lukewarm. So I still had lukewarm water, so it wasn't quite broken. And that would deliver 125 degree water, which is what my shit's set to, because Mandy takes a fucking hot shower, and you don't use all hot, you use a mix. So I watched this fail, and I had to look up and figure out what was going on. And I'm like, shit. It's not a cheap part. That one's like $120. I actually here they are. I've had to do this twice in case you didn't notice. You can see the green build up there and there. So one of these is the OG original. This one's the OG original because I remember it's fine. It's fucked up anyway. This is the OG original and the valve just stopped closing all the way. And then I should probably say how easy it is to fix this. It made a mess the first time. Of course, there's no real tools required. This whole thing comes off with 4 screws. And then there's these clips that are just C-clips that go click. And they go around to this thing and that thing. And you pull them off. They go pop. And there's a thing that seats and goes pop. It's so fucking easy. You move some of these wires out of the way and it's almost toolless. I literally just use the thing to push it. And then to clip it back on. So you replace that, and all of a sudden the valve can now open and close. Great. Fast forward to 6 months ago. I just start noticing how it's not hot anymore. It wasn't like the first time where the hot water literally just stopped. This was a slow, progressive failure. Same fucking problem. I just touched the pipe and went, oh, there it is. Hot, not hot. Change the thing out again. And there it is. So the cure for that is what these hoses are here for. Well, I shouldn't say the cure. Love how there's water coming out of there. There shouldn't be. This is closed. Has there been water in there forever? I don't like when there's just random water. What you do is I have a submersible pump. And I have a bucket. And you fill it with CLR. And you drop the submersible pump in the bucket. And literally you close a series of valves so that instead of getting cold water and pumping out hot, it sucks CLR, shoves it through the whole thing, and goes back into the bucket and then just cycles. And you do that for like 20 minutes with a solution of CLR to clear out all the calcium, lime, and rust, which is what causes the valve to fucking fail. And I'm on well water with no filters, so of course it's going to fucking fail at some point. So that's what these are permanently attached for, and in case I ever need water in the basement to like fill up a mop bucket, there's no sink down here. The biggest problem is there's no drain. There's just nothing, which is fine, except it's not fine. And the plumbing goes out there, so it's not, I'd have to have a sink like up here. So, failure 1 was the fuse, or the safety link, whatever you want to call this. Failure 2 was the bypass. Failure 3 was the bypass valve. The other valves have been fine. Newest failure, which I come down here, I was taking showers in the last 2 weeks, late at night, 1 a.m. I'm just like, I have a beer, I get in the shower, like, oh man, I just can't wait to spend 40 minutes in the shower. And 31 minutes into my shower, where'd the hot water go? Because when that fails, that still has 7 gallons of water in it. So I don't quite know when it's going to run out. There's just a lot of hot water, and then it starts to get slowly replaced, so it gets slightly slower and colder and colder and colder and oh shit. Turn off the valve, turn it back on, it would work again. Turns out, error code 11, I finally turned it on to, like, before I get in the shower, you turn it on, no hot water came out. None. This thing I had disabled, and no hot water came out of the fucking shower. Error code 11, which another thing about the Norrit stuff is you look up the error code, and it literally tells you, this is what's wrong, this is how you fix it. Supplyhouse.com I will link in the description because it saved my ass. So this new fix is happening tomorrow, and it's the igniter. This bitch right here. I have a great video of me electrocuting myself to test this, because this is the firebox where the propane is. So for the love of fucking God, if you don't understand how to turn that off, you will die. Don't die. Unplug the power, turn off the gas valve. There'll still be gas in the line. It's pressurized, and when you try to activate this, it will release propane. You go, oh. So this part here, this gets 100 volts from the circuit board. And then this causes a spark, and there's 2 little metal probes that sit in there, go pop, 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 pop when it goes off. Now they don't use spark units anymore. They use hot wires, but whatever. Anyway, that's $18. So I ordered 2 of them again, so I can have a big pile of extra parts for this unit. Because honestly, knock on fucking wood, this thing is pretty brand new, other than the things that are failing. Because, I mean, is this wire going to go bad? Here's the output. In the wintertime, it's freezing cold coming through there, and you can see some crap and dust, because that just goes outside. But I should be able to keep this going for at least another 10 years. I'm hoping, again, wood fucking knocking. Especially since it's so... If this died, like died, I'd buy another Norrit's. Because I'm not a very handy person. Like, people have told me I can give a great handy. But I don't want to be handy. Like, I'd rather hire someone and just be like, here's $400. But it's 2025. We don't got $400 anymore. And for this, it's just like, it's so easy to fix it. Every time I need to fix it, I just fix it. So that thing failed. I went to Supply House, looked up the model number, 2-day delivery, ordered it Sunday. Today's Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday. It'll be here tomorrow. I ordered, here, I got to show you what I ordered. I ordered the igniter pack, which is this. I ordered the actual contacts that go in, and that comes with a new probably not fiberglass, but fireproof gasket. I also replacing this, which is the tester, because the 2 things that could have been wrong with the error code 11 is this is failing to spark, or this is failing to detect the fire and is shutting the unit down and calling an 11. So I'm replacing both, because if one can break or the other, this was literally $13. So fucking replace it. The way I tested this, gas off, power in, unit hanging out in my hand, turn it on. I go to, it tries to make spark, but it's not grounding to the case. So this wire here had 100 volt sparks going across it in my hand. I'm like, oh, okay. So I shut that off. I contacted this to the case, which was a big important thing in the notes, is like, make sure it's grounded. I hit the button, and it goes through the same cycle where it should be sparking and nothing happens. So I pull it off and then electrocute myself, because I was wearing a big heavy glove, and it's not an electrical glove, and the electrician's glove will stop electricity. That doesn't give a fuck because it's a fucking Pitmaster glove that I use for fiberglass. Anyway, I pulled it off. It shocked me immediately, and I dropped it. So electricity is getting up through this. It is not coming out of that unit into the spark. So by changing that, it should just spark, make fire, make hot water. On a side note, I'm putting solar in. This video will probably come out before the solar project stuff comes out. I spent nearly $9,000 on solar panels that I own because they were in a warehouse fire and they don't have a warranty. And the dude who bought them from a warehouse who was just like, well, they're insured and we don't need them. Here you go. So I have 105 455 watt solar panels, of which 64 are planned to be erected, or 72. I haven't talked to Dan about that. Over there in the backyard. And that is literally the easiest part, is buying the solar panels. They're basically free. They're $80 a panel. For a 7-foot, huge, clear backside, brand new Zenshine fucking solar panels. And I'm getting onto that topic, but we'll talk about that in another video. What I was going to say is the items in this house that still use propane, because the propane heat was never going to fucking happen. That shit was $900 a month in 2022. All right. In January and February, it heated the house for 2 months. I had to pay $1,800 to fill my tank up. So that's why electric mini splits. There's some videos on this channel. If you go looking for the electric mini split installs, they have saved me ungodly amounts of money, and I've halved my heating bill. So maybe I'm spending $450 a month to heat the house. But now I'm heating the house better because every corner has it instead of just random vents. And the basement wasn't heated before, and now it is. So it's half the cost and twice the space, because this whole thing is the size of my entire house. So I've doubled the square footage of heating and have the cost. So yeah, mini splits are the way to go. Go ask Alex from Technology Connections. He's right. Especially when propane. So propane still powers instant hot water heater, my generator, my barbecue, my fireplace, which is obviously a luxury item, and my stove. My stovetop is propane. So those 5 things still use propane. It has been 3 years since a fill-up. Since I put the mini splits in, I haven't had to have my tank filled. It got filled one last time for whatever it was, $800 or $900, and I'm like, well, don't have to see you again for many years. The problem is I'm under 40% right now, and the last time I asked about the propane costs in this house, when I bought it from the owner, he gave me the receipts. $1.65 a gallon. And I'm like, cool, I could pay $1.65 a gallon's easy. I buy the house, $2.39 a gallon. That's significant. $2.39 a gallon turns to $2.79 a gallon, turns to $2.99 a gallon. That's when it was an $1,800 fill-up. $2.99 a gallon is ancient history. It was $4.35 a gallon or something when I called. And I'm like, you know what? Don't come fill me up while I'm at 45%. We'll see what it's like in the spring. So now the spring is gone and the summer's coming. I got to start calling for propane, because it's going to be like a $4,000 nut now. But that $4,000 nut should last me 3 or 4 years, depending on how I use my heat, my stove, or my generator. Which, another thing, I won't have to worry about the generator anymore once the solar panel and electrical batteries are installed, because I'm going full fuck batteries for the nighttime. It's $15,000 in batteries are planned. Oh, God, please sponsor my videos. Someone please sponsor my videos. Please, God. Anywho, so yeah, that's why this is on propane. Would I swap this over to electric? Because here's the thing. A big electric water heater, number one, takes up a ton of space. And while I don't have a small fucking basement, it would have to go here, which is right now currently just like a catch-all for fucking everything. But I like this. I like never running out of hot water. I've taken a 1 hour and 20-minute shower, and it just is there's never a problem. This is a fucking monster. Actually, how many BTU is this? This is a 168,000 BTU an hour Noritz. That's not a little baby. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. And it works fucking great. And I don't mind if I have to pay whatever a year if you calculate it out. I probably use, this is probably the biggest draw of propane currently. Once the heating system is turned off, it's probably this. But again, look, it's sitting here right now, not using anything. Well, it's broken, so it can't. But not using anything. My stove isn't using anything. My generator isn't using anything. There's no need for it until there's a need for it, which is fantastic. I do not know if an electric one of these could do the whole house. I'd probably have to get a massive, like, 60-gallon fucking thing. And then once that runs out, you're fucked. Or you can get a small one, because here's my shower literally right here. My big master bathroom, there's the drain to my master, and there was a leak, which is why everything's yanked out. So I could technically put a smaller electric one here, maybe. But it's like, why? This has worked great. I never have 50 guests in the house and we're all demanding water at the same time. This system's fine. I should put that back up. I did feel a drip, though. I feel like it was over here. I don't know. Any water going to come out of my fucking ceiling? I haven't showered in 2 days. I showered today, actually. Oh, one of the reasons I wanted to make this video is because I'm so happy about how this Bosch worked out. This is actually replaced this year. So I had the other one. I bought the house in 2020. We put this thing in 2020, I think. I don't think we waited. And this last year, it developed a leak and started dripping. You could see some lines on the floor. I don't know, rust came out of it and started falling apart. That thing is only like $180. It's like a $200 fucking Bosch. I put the bucket under it with a floaty ball, and I put the camera over here to watch it in case it started leaking. And it was just a drip. And replacing it was literally unscrew that, unplug it, hang it back up, screw it back in, done. So I put my buffer back in. This is just basically a buffer. And as long as you set the gauge on that correctly to match this, when this turns on and starts filling that, it goes, oh, I'm hot enough, turn off. I took a timer. So what happened when this broke is I came down here and put this into the hottest mode. Maximum temperature, because usually you want to balance it. If this makes 125 degrees, you set that only needs 123 degrees. And by the way, it's not a very accurate thing, so it takes a long time to figure that out. But, Tish, when this breaks, you max that out. That way, this creates, 150 degree water. And then you can temper it down. So when you're taking a shower, instead of having a 50-50 split of hot and cold, you have like a 75-25, because the water is so fucking hot. And it lasts longer. And I literally stopwatched my thing. I took a shower in the guest bathroom. I don't know why. This one would have been closer, but I feel like I would have had more of a run-up time to when it was running out if I was in the guest. So got in the guest bathroom, turned on the thing, waited for the water to be temperate, hit the start, got in, 6 minutes. As I was showering, obviously I kept changing the mix to more and more hot as that was getting interchanged, because as I'm running that isn't just 7 gallons and out. That's 7 gallons at 150. Then it starts filling with cold water because it has to be replaced. So it's 150, 149, 148, 147. And over the course of 6 minutes, that went from 150 to probably 100, maybe under 100. So it would have been just ice cold at 7 or 8 minutes. So you have a 6-minute buffer. So even though this is broken, my main hot water heater is broken, that little fuck right there will give you a 6-minute shower with beautifully hot water. Like no concerns. And I'm just proud of that. Proud of this little thing, because a professional didn't suggest this or install it. It was just Dan and I. Like, well, if we do this, it solves the pump problem under the sink. And also backups. I'm a huge backup generator sort of guy. So this is my backup for that. Those are my backup for the mini splits, or vice versa. I would never use those for heating ever again. I do turn them on at least twice a season just to make sure they're still working. Because should a catastrophe happen, and I don't have electricity, while I can heat my master bedroom using the generator and the mini split, because that one's on a specific line, I can heat the whole house with that and the propane, because all the generator needs to do is spin the fans, and then propane heats it. So I'd be murdering propane in a blackout to heat this house, because I'd be running the heater and a 7,000 watt generator, which, by the way, needs to be serviced. That's a whole other thing. But once the battery backups are in place, Dan's calculated it out. We're going to have, I think I could surge up to like 23,000 watts usage. And if there's sun ever, which I don't know if we're ever getting sun again because it's just raining for the entire months of May and June, I should make it through like any night and any day with that many solar panels to just run most mini splits. Because mini splits are crazy efficient. I think all of them in this house running full tits is like 7,000 watts. Oh, you want to see something cool? And by cool, I mean very hot. This is just covered because I put the Is that my CLR? Holy fuck. I knew I had another thing of CLR and I couldn't find it. This is one thing that I cannot put on my goddamn electric battery backup. That is a steam generator for my shower. Which is like, oof, I feel a spa steam generator. Yeah, once we put the kilowatt, or the iota watt in the thing, I use this thing. If I want to get my shower, and I'm just like, you know what? Boom, put it on, sit in the toilet. 3 minutes later, you hear the steam coming out, fills the shower with steam. It's great. Exfoliates the pores. In the wintertime, it heats up the whole shower. That's 11,000 watts. As soon as you push the button, it draws 11,000 watts. The power cable that's feeding it is here. This thing, this fucking zero gauge power cable, there's just 2 wires in it. It's big as my thumb. So that's a no-no for anyone who is running off of battery power. So that's one of the things. My big double oven is one other thing. And there's something else that cannot be ever put on the battery system because the battery system would just go no. I mean, it could. Oh, I accidentally put on the steam generator and drained all my batteries. So, oh well, I guess we're just going to live in the darkness. Well, it'll still be grid tied. So this will still be a grid tied device. That if I'm using this, I'm going to have to pay the fucking electric company. But I think I've calculated out if I run this for 30 minutes, at the current rate of like 17 cents out the door kilowatt hour, this would cost me $1.25 per shower. Which in the overall, if you could put fucking 5 quarters in and get 30 minutes of steam, that's not bad. You got to think of it that way. You can't think of it about, oh, my electric bill, 11,000 watts. $1.25 a shower, if I want that, fine. I skip it 2 or 3 times, maybe it's a $10 a month thing. Anyway, so as I stand here talking at my Norwitz heater, praising it, even though it is broken now 4 times, it's just so damn easy and cheap to fix. I hope nothing back there breaks. There's the blower fan. Here's the control board, which just looks like it's one big bundle. Just fucking comes out. Everything is labeled. Everything is labeled and marked with the marker here to see that if it's not separating, and you can see that they all line up. 10 watt Micron 70C. Those are the quick connector cords. There's like a test cords and shit. It's a great unit. This is a review of the Norwitz thing. This thing is, so it's 2008, it's 2025. That's fucking 15, 16, this thing's 17 years old. It looks brand new. And when it heats water fucking good. I do have to run the CLR, but I need like a gallon of CLR. And that's not a gallon. I need a gallon and like another gallon. I need enough of the submersible pump to just, actually I'd probably get a bucket and do it instead of this. Because it'll just be less liquid that needs to circle around. I don't know. I just wanted to give you all the hoedown on how my thing works. And also, covering all the pipes was a big deal. Because otherwise, when the pump under the sink pulls the hot water out of there, it'll just cool down immediately. You need it to stay hot in the pipe. That's the whole point. So it doesn't have to pull every 15 minutes. It can pull every hour. And actually, on top of that, hold on. Titties. On top of that, one of the things I have enabled, and this I'm kind of proud of, because this is very much directly tied to keeping my hot water going. If we go through all of my Kasa switches, which there are fucking many, I have 2 Kasa switches, which are just the little plugged-in boxes. This thing, actually here. There's 3 of them involved. This is on that electric water heater. This, let's see, let's go to, I think it's under just electric water heater. A, B, C, D, electric water heater is on. Runtime. Current runtime 2 hours. That's today because it's 2 in the morning. Average 24 hours in the last 7 days is 24 hours because I haven't gone on vacation. If I go on vacation, if I go to Germany for 7 days, which like I do, I say an Alexa word. I say I'm going to put on the vacation protocol, and that turns off. That is the only time that turns off. And as you can see, it's run 168 hours last week. Never turns off. These are great because you could do literally that. They could just sit there and wait for an instruction, be like, are you going on vacation, Zeos? Master Zeos? I'm assuming my computer would call me Master Zeos. Okay, cool. Click. And then that stops being on. And what that does is, well, that saves me fucking 1100 watts every time this thing has to burst on and like keep it warm. The other thing that I have doing it is, what are you named? Recirculator pump and recirculator scheduler. You ready for this one? This is a doozy. So you understand how this works, right? Plugs into the wall and you plug the thing into it. I have 2 of these stacked under my sink upstairs. 2 of them. The recirculator pump one is just like this one, 168 hours for the week, 24 hours a day. It's just on. And then the recirculator scheduler runtime is 66 hours for the last 7 days. Past 30 days, 7 hours a day average. Because the pump under the sink usually just detects temperature and then pulls and then detects and then pulls, I thought it was pulling too much. And it was. It was pulling constant. It was like, too much, it's cold. So what I did is I forced it with a, not timer, I forced it with a scheduler. Look at all the schedules. So basically, come 1 a.m., it turns off the pump under the sink. So the main unit doesn't turn off. Again, that's vacation. I go on vacation. Going on vacation, it shuts this off. It shuts the pump master switch off, essentially. Because you can't override the schedule. If I could do it all in one unit, I'd do it in one unit. I can't figure out how to do it in one unit. Home Assistant will probably work with that. Don't worry, we'll work on Home Assistant. But so my answer is, we'll just stack them in a row. So when I leave, the master one turns off, and then this doesn't matter. But when the master one's on, when I'm home, at 1:05 a.m., unit turns off. It stops pulling hot water up out of the basement. It's 1 o'clock in the fucking morning. I shouldn't need hot water around the house. And if I'm taking a shower late, it's right here, so I don't need to pull it till the card filled up because I bullshit too much about bullshit. Anyway, so basically 1:05 turns it off. 8:30 in the morning turns it back on. Doesn't turn it off again until 10 to 11. It basically takes 1 hour breaks from that point on because I sleep in, so it doesn't need to be on that many. And then it just goes hour on, hour off, hour on, hour off. Instead of being on and off every 35 minutes, I force it. It has an hour to play and then shut the fuck off. And so that keeps my electric bills down because that, and I could actually see it because this circuit is actually the same circuit as the electrical lights down here, the basement lights. So the basement lights are pretty constant. So when there's an 1100 watt draw, it's that thing. And I can time it directly for when the sink is pulling hot water. This will turn on. And when that is not done, it just sits here. So I'm just reducing electrical usage, and this is going to be super duper important when I'm running off of batteries and not, the grid. But my current electric bill, I had the lowest electric bill, I think in like 2 years or 3 years, $384 was the lowest electric bill I've seen. It's springtime. I had the conscious effort to turn off all the mini splits. I've got all this automation shit set up. My goal, well, that's it. I got like 2 months in the spring and fall where I'm not super heating the house or super cooling the house. So that's the only time I'm ever going to be able to get as low as possible. Right? And so that's what this is all part of. If I could get smarter with this, if there were better sensors, like Home Assistant, I'm talking about Home Assistant. That'll be a whole other video on this channel at some point. Home Assistant can tell if my phone is not just on the property, but active. If I'm asleep and my phone is just laying there, it's like, you know what? Don't heat the water right now. He's not even awake. Steve's not even awake. I'm sorry. Master Steve is not even awake. Home Assistant can know. It could have monitoring sensors. It can know if a door's been opened. It could just see you on the cameras. If you put a fucking tablet on the wall or a cheap cell phone, motion detection. If it ignores the fucking cats. Well, there's another cat. Motion detection. And so it's like, you know what? No one's home. I wouldn't even need to tell it I'm on vacation. I'm just going to go out to the store. It's going to go, oh, Steve's not here. Okay, halt this, this, and this. And if it continues him not being here for another 6 hours, halt this, this, and this. And then if it continues at this point in the night, there's no one home, shut it down like he's on fucking vacation. And then I could always just get on my phone and be like, hey, home, I'm coming home. And it's like, yes, master. It puts everything back on. That's one of the things. When I am gone vacation like Germany, I tell it I'm on vacation protocol. And when I come home, usually on the drive back from the airport, I will go into my app and I'll be like, hit the I am home button, which re-enables the internet because wired internet gets disabled because I don't want any of my fucking computers to be able to talk to the internet while I'm not here. It turns that thing back on, turns the pump back on, gets the house fucking comfortable. Beautiful technology shit. So we're spending money on tech so that we can save money on electricity. That's how this should work. And all this video, all this lovely video, by the way, I'm burning all these boxes, is coming from me having to take a 6-minute fucking shower. Because I'm so happy I can still take a 6-minute hot shower. Because I've lived places where when the fucking water heater breaks, it's fucking broken. And all you have is cold showers. And let me tell you, that's not a way to live. This is America, goddammit. We got to live the American way. With the Japanese fucking things and our Bosch is made in China. I think it's made in China. Unfortunately. Where are you made? Mexico. My Mexican hot water heater and my Japanese hot water heater making the American dream a reality. That's what I'm talking about. American ingenuity with my Mexican and Japanese hot water system. So yeah, that's basically the crux of this video. I'm just happy that exists. And if you do have a whole house heater, or if you have, honestly, just having 2 heaters in line, why the fuck not? Even if you had a big tank heater. Maybe that one's old. Maybe you've got an old fucking big fuck tank heater. This is under $200. Just stick it in line. Just the output to the input. And then spend the time setting, because that thermostat's super slow. It can go past it and goes, but if that outputs into this and it's like, oh, I got hot water coming in. It doesn't turn on. That literally may never turn on. Just act as a backup. Because, god damn it, cold showers fucking suck. I hate cold showers. But I didn't have to take one today. And I won't have to take one tomorrow. And tomorrow night, this thing should be repaired. This is very soft, this thing. Kind of like touching it. I like touching igniters. Yeah, so that's it. Just something to chew around, because it's a cool system. In Minecraft, which I know... Unfortunately, I wasn't in when I played Minecraft, I wasn't streaming, or you guys would have seen some shit. Because when my friends and I were doing Minecraft things in like 2013, man, we fucking hammered at that shit. We fucking hammered it. And I loved the industrial craft or whatever it was, where I had to go and get oil and bring it back to my base and then refine it into gasoline and then run into the fuel, into the generators that made steam, the steam generator with the water. I love the systems. All I wanted to do was systems in Garry's Mod. I never wanted to go fight the Ender Dragon. Fuck that guy. He's not keeping my house warm. I had fucking massive amounts of electricity and fires, and I could run a million fucking things. I loved that. And then I get into nuclear, because nuclear feels like it's cheating in Minecraft. It's nuclear cheating. I liked going out, finding the oil, then putting another fucking thing on it that sent the oil, because it was too fucking hard to build pipes for hundreds and hundreds of blocks. But, a little bit of magic and a little bit of fucking science. And I just loved that shit. And this feels like that. This is like real-life Minecraft. I just pop a little redstone here. Look at my little redstone Kasa switch, which is linked in the description if Zeos is smart. Because he's got to sell something in this video. And these things... It's like a 4-pack for $25. And all you need is those and an app. Because they're all Wi-Fi. There's no hub. It's that connects directly to your Wi-Fi because the app tells it your Wi-Fi password and then it says, I'm here. And that's why my fucking network is so slow because I've got hundreds of them. Well, I've got over 100 of them. All switches and lights, and some of these are Echo. Turn off basement 5. Like, that light is physically a Wi-Fi controlled light. Cats, look at them sitting cutely on that. Anyway, yeah, this is if you're watching this and you're not an American, but you're living in a country like Germany, I can only compare to Germany because let me tell you, the hotel rooms there are fucking psychotic with their automation. At least they should be. I forget where I was, where the hotel room had a switching system that the bed had a box and every light in the hotel room was on that box and it was wired to a thing in the wall that had control over everything with relays. I was like, damn, my nipples are hard. But yeah, and like this is some shit right here. And yes, we're using 110 in our ugly plugs and our toilet. We flush our toilets and it goes out through that pipe. Don't you like how this pipe? I built my shelf around my poop. Comes around here, then goes down, and then goes out, but it goes through the shelf first because America. And then it goes out to the leaching field. It goes to the I forget what it's called. There's one here, and then there's another one, and then there's a leaching field. There's 2 containers. No one that shits in this house, their shit has never left the property. Got to put it in a bag if you want to take it with you. So, you know what? I'll continue this video tomorrow since I'm going to have this fucking... I can't wait to fire it up and actually see the fire through the seep hole. And I want you to be there for that. So I'll do my outros right now. Here we are the next day. It's just before 5 o'clock. The delivery man dropped off these parts. I have the extra igniter, which I'm not going to open. I love it when I see Japanese lettering on the package. It means it's from Norwitz. Here is the unit. Spark unit. AC 100 volts. Japanese all over this. This is number 22076B. So what I got to do now is it doesn't come with a new plate. It comes with a new gasket, which mine's fucking destroyed. I bought the new things. This was like $13 or $12. So we got to, and I'm doing all this with hand tools because I don't want to strip anything. This is still unplugged. Gas line is still off. This part I'm also replacing, but that won't come till later in the week or next week. But I don't believe it's the spark detector, but I'm gonna change it anyway. Whoops. That almost was bad. Almost was bad is not bad. And I'm just gonna swap everything out, attach it to the plate, and then let her rip. I'm not going to try to do any testing outside where I electrocute myself again. That was no fun. All right, so this comes off. This comes out. This goes out. Here's our unit. You can see this has been starting fucking 17 years. This has been starting fires. You see how bad this is. I actually, you know what? I do need to scratch this one off. I'll stop the camera to do that. I'm trying not to get any of it in the unit. Do I have a scraper? I just use a blade. Let me get us all disconnected from here, though. It looks like this is held in place here. This lifts up. Holy God, Japan. I love you. All right, well, they're different colors now, so I'm not going to get them confused. The black one is the bad one. This is mostly peeling off. I don't know how this comes out. Oh, I guess okay. There it is. Fuck. All right, here's the bad. Here's the old and with the new. Let me clean off this. Is that a dead spider? Where'd you come from? Let me clean this off. There's nothing to adhere that. It just sits between. I guess the heat has just melted it. And this is such a weird, odd, angled shape. Like I thought it was bent, but this is 100% how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like down and out in Beverly Hills. So burb, a little bit of really fucked up old 150 grit sandpaper just to clear that off. After I use the straight blade, try to get this to flop out onto the floor. Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Don't get to use straight razors nearly enough in my day-to-day. You know, I would love to be a headphone reviewer that just happens to be really good with a blade. That'd be like a cool little quirk to have. The metal is a little bent there, so look at that. Look at it come off. Because it's not adhered. It's not. I'm not removing any adhesive. It's just Contact did this, and not the movie with what's her name in it. So where it gets weird, I'll just use the sandpaper. There, just give me something that's got a little bit of bite on it. Perfect. So now we need to reassemble on the bracket, which bracket goes like this. This goes inside like this. Or are you not going to fit? Are you going to be a bitch and be just slightly too big? Oh no, it's a different shape. The fuck? It's got a square. Oh, No, wait. Oh, I'm in the wrong direction. Okay, no, I was wrong. This has a square to prevent you from putting it on the wrong side, because I'm an idiot. They understand you're an idiot, so they make you put it on the inside, and that holds it in place. See? That's it. The Japanese can account for American instability and stupidity. So now this, where's my little clip bracket? That's down. This here. Okay, so this locks in. There's little rails. And that is supposed to grab. So the rails line up here. And then this lines up here. The metal. There we go. The metal here grounds. So that adds ground to this. And then she just clips in, and she's got that little clip there. And that's it. We've reassembled the unit. This is now new and ready to rock and roll. All we need is our this. And I'll take one screw in my hand. Don't make a joke out of that. Yeah, because that's got the notchway there. So we do this. We do this. I somehow get the screw into the proper... Put it in the actual screwdriver now that I'm here. I'm using an electrician screwdriver. This costs me a little more money, but you cannot get grounded out. The actual shaft is plastic. It's wild. And we're just going to half screw that in, just so it all sorts of sits there. This is magnetized just enough. I want to get both screws in place. And then screw it down back and forth. Make sure you're not crushing anything stupidly or cross-threading anything. Remember, you are holding propane and fire in, so do tighten it. I am going to plug this in first, and then I'm going to plug in the high voltage here. Oop, I should probably get it where it actually plugs in. And now we plug this in. We're going to open the gas valve, which there's another valve somewhere in here. This holds, there's the gas valve there. So it's not just going to be like, shh, until it calls for hot water, it's not going to let propane out. Propane's now allowed to go into it, but it's not. So this is where having a second person in the house would be fantastic, but I have not yet trained my cat. Jubei, turn on the kitchen sink. So he doesn't understand. So I'm going to go upstairs. I'll probably turn on, let's go. We got no place to be, right? We put this straight razor not there, because this is not something you want to find in your shoe, or the cat is carrying it around in his mouth. Like, we don't want that. I actually just have this sitting like right on. I have 100 of these because they're super useful. We're going to go put in a sink. Burb. And then we'll come back down here. It will be calling for hot water, which it will be receiving because the hot water is still in the electric tank. By the way, it's raining. I love the rain. I love the rain. All right. I always forget on these whether it... I have a light here. Look, oh my God, that's too bright. Is that hot or is that hot? Because keep in mind, it should still be getting hot water. It should still be using the pump under the sink to pull hot water up. However, the way the pump works, I didn't explain this, I watched the earlier part. The pump doesn't just pull the hot water up and throw it away. It pulls the hot water up, and when it doesn't get used, it puts it in the cold side. So your cold side technically becomes a warm side. Like this is warm water, but it's getting hot. Now if I go the other way, ice cold. So that is the hot side. Let's go back down. So that should last, if a shower lasts 6 minutes, that'll probably be 10 to 12 minutes of hot water dumping out the entirety of the electric water heater. Which, if we look, is not currently running. It's not clicked on yet. Because it hasn't been enough, oh, there it goes. Delicious flash, that's working. So now it's trying to heat the water. So let's assist it. Oh. Everybody, I'm gonna flip this around, and it's probably gonna be upside down. Hold on. The 2 is fucking weird. How do I tilt this screen? I don't want to throw 100 volts through this either, but there we go. You can see the fire in there. Oh, baby. Lickety fucking split. Which is probably now I'm upside. Am I on the ceiling? Did I move to Australia? But yeah, that's it feels very satisfying. We have a projects chat on Telegram for projects. You know, if I'm building the things with the mini split, or my friend's doing some with 3D printing, and there's a hashtag home ownership that has come up probably 900 fucking times. In fact, I just posted there. Where the hell did it go? We has fire. Easiest install of my fucking life. So if I look up, if I search hashtag home ownership, we will find 9. I don't know why there's only 9. It's all me, because I'm the only one that uses it. But I have done hashtag home ownership 9 times since 2023. And if you go to them, it's always something fucking wrong. Oh, there's the leak right there when my bathtub started going. Could I just scroll through all the ones? Yep. Why would someone do this to my brother? Here's my brother's closet where they had cabinets and they didn't remove the little cabinets, the shitty ones. They built the flooring around it. So there's just holes in the floor. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, hashtag home ownership. And so let's see, that was the wall, that was that. What the fuck did I just get myself into? Was my friend buying a home? That's hashtag home ownership. Goddamn those home people ceiling lights, but a few thousand nights because hashtag home ownership. It's my brother's old apartment and his new house. So that had something to do with it. I don't know what you don't know. I don't know what you don't know, is what my friend told me. Because I was complaining, and it's like, that's just stupid shit. That's what I figured would happen. Probably get an arborist. You need to know an arborist all of a sudden. So right now, this thing's heating hot water. It's set to 125. We can now turn this back down. So now the problem with this is, I need to basically babysit, run as much of my shower and water as I can. This is producing 125 degree water. And it's being fed into this, and it's slow. Assume there's like a 30-second blip, am I measuring? And you got to just keep lowering that while this is running until the light turns off. Because it goes, oh, I have the correct amount of temperature. So it needs to push 7 gallons through there first, which is going to take 10 minutes. And then I need to start adjusting that and waiting, and adjusting that and waiting, and adjusting that and waiting. And then once you find that perfect amount where you're just below where it should kick on, you mark it with a marker and you leave it there. I haven't done it on this one. That was not something that I was able to do. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do this today. Hear the fan in the back, which blows. So there's just fresh air coming through. That's what's firing. When this is closed, fresh air from the outside comes in, allows the flame to exist because fires need air, and then the exhaust is going out there. So this is a sealed system. It doesn't breathe the basement air, but since the cover is off, it is currently breathing the basement air. But no fumes. Like, you don't smell anything because the out is still sealed. Just the input is somewhere. I wonder if there's a filter on it. I've never really explored. Let me take the other. I'm actually going to put this one back in. And there's like space at the bottom. You just drop it there. But I'm going to put it... I've got a couple of things. I should really maybe get like a metal box because this isn't hot. This is where the cold water is coming in. But that side, oh, that side's hot. But I shouldn't leave plastic bags in it since it's all metal and like fireproof. So I'm going to go get myself like a burn-proof bag. Put all these extra components, and for the love of God, leave them inside the unit. Because you know where you're never going to find them? Anywhere fucking else. Actually, that's sealed. This is sealed. And despite this being used, if something ever happened, I do want to have an extra one, and I know exactly what this O-ring is for. It's for the other thing. These are both shot. This is shot. I'm just going to make piles of shot things. Well, there you go. That's how we make go. The red light comes on, it says burner on. With the cover on this, you don't even hear it, and it's currently feeding hot water to that, which is still on, so I'm just going to try a little bit less. Just a little bit less. Because it really makes zero sense if you're taking a shower and that's making hot water and that's trying to make more hot water. That thing should be off when I'm in the shower for an hour. And that's just a matter of turning and fucking waiting. Which is great if you're just doing things. Come back over here. Oh, you're still running. Because that thing, I think, was at like 145 degrees when I had it up all the way. Anyway, this is great news. We could... Oh yeah, that's hot there. How's my bypass valve? I actually feel it doing something. Like I felt it's like vibrations. Like, oh, the water might be getting too hot. Oh shit. I just realized why that one's broke and not these. It's slowly opening the bypass valve to let cold water into the hot to make it 125. How high do I have to set this where that no longer happens? Because if I set it to 130, because I don't know what the temperature is that it can get from here to there. Presumably it could get hot, but I mean, can I go higher than 130? No, 130 is max. So maybe I'll live with that, because I'd rather not have that thing actuating. I felt it vibrate. I felt a vibration in the pipe. And that's why it slows down. You hear the fan slow down. I don't know if it can turn the jets on and off or raise and lower them. It would be really cool if it could make the flames smaller to get the perfect temperature. Oh, that clicked off. That just clicked off. That's good news. That means the water inside has reached an equilibrium. I have that set 5 degrees higher, which is not that much higher. By the way, it makes you unlock it over 120. You have to do a special thing because you'll scold yourself, so it double checks. But now that that's off, and we're just running water in the sink upstairs. I'm going to raise this a little bit, just a little bit, like 3 degrees. And I'll just wait. And if that goes clicking back on, I made it too high. It's just a very slow reaction. I wish it was accurate and more fast, but it's not. It's a fucking cheap, dumb unit. Honestly, my friend Dan could probably pull this panel off the front and put a crazy accurate digital on-off that could probe inside the tank and be like, oh, if this is running, just don't. In fact, we just figure out what's throwing this burner on light. And if that somewhere in here is like burner on, just have the Kasa switch using Home Assistant go, you know what? Off. Or use the internal thermostatic switch instead of throwing a big fucking 110. But you understand that this is the fun part of this. And there goes my well pump, which for the longest time, if you didn't hear that click, I would go to bed at night and I climb in bed and I would hear bunk. And what that was this is where the water for my house comes in here from the well. That thing measures the pressure in the tank. When the pressure in the tank, because there's a bladder of air that gets squeezed. And when that pressure is high enough, shuts off the well pump. And then the bladder of air pushes the water through the pipes. And then the well pump turns on when it's low. And it squeezes and it pushes and it squeezes and it pushes. And at night, I would flush the toilet after taking a leak, climb in bed, and then tank would fill up. And sometimes, maybe one out of every 50 fucking times, it would use enough water on that flush that, oh, time to fill up the tank. And I would hear this go, boom. And my bedroom's right over here. I had no idea what that sound was in the house. And that's hashtag homeownership. But I eventually did figure that out. So that's good. I actually figured it out when I was down here and there was someone else living upstairs when Mandy was here. Charge this battery. Anyway, we're done. We done. There it goes. Click. Get here. Spin the pipe. Get on. Oh, look at that. You see it spinning? Should I put the thing that he scratched his face on the pole and then he could spin on the pole? So that's all good. That's still not on, even though I lowered it. So I'm going to lower it a little bit more because it's got to be close. Otherwise, if you don't get that set real close to the 130 coming out of that, what'll happen is you get in the shower. This will be superheated or slightly colder than normal. Your shower will last approximately exactly 6 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the heat will change. It'll get hotter or colder. Most likely, if you set this too high, this will be too cold and you have to adjust. Or this will be too cold, which is more likely. And then the hot water starts because it's just filling this fucking thing up. So we want it to be a consistent amount of heat from that and this. And that's just a pain in the ass to set. But yeah, no. Congratulations, everybody. Can I actually... See, this doesn't do power draw, or otherwise I can monitor it. But it actually, I can do monitoring because it's on the basement light circuit, which actually, turn this basement light off. Look at all my technological prowess and everything. And I have to unscrew a fucking socket to turn these two lights off. I'm not going to button it up until that other piece comes for the sensor. Although I may not replace it and just keep it as a new part just in case. That one had a pretty good seal and everything, so yeah, we good. Thank you for stopping by. This has been a second channel video concerning this fucking bullshit that is hashtag homeownership. And maybe somebody out there is like, you know what? Zeos taught me I could actually fix this for like $30. If I didn't buy 2 of those, it would have been 18 plus 14 plus shipping. But I bought an extra one, so it can be $70 total. But like I said, when this thing's working, it just fucking works.